This video is brought to you by my store at Amazon.com. Go to AirborneSurfer.com/Amazon, and that'll take you right over there. You can see all the silly stuff that I work with, and the tools that I use, and the things that I review, and books that I'm reading, and whatever else just happens to be interesting. Check it out all there over at Amazon.com. Doesn't cost you anything else, but when you do make purchases from Amazon, it does benefit this channel. So thank you for your support, and let's get started. Greetings, programs. Atari here, you there, and I got my cup of coffee here. I'm sitting in the shop waiting on a 3D print to complete, and I figure it is time to respond to some of your comments here on the YouTubes. Okay, so this was on the shredder teardown and repair video. 100 Jack says, I took my safety switches out. Smiley face. Works even better now. Well, I'm sure it does. Yeah, safety third there. Safety switches tend to gunk up the works, and they tend to slow you down, but they're there for a reason. So yeah, whatever floats your root beer there. Okay, looking at the state of the channel, Mayor says, dude, you got to reach out to William Osmond to do that. I guess he's talking about doing the melon boat race. I also got some new stuff planned for 2020. Hope we can finally get to do a true collab episode on Element 14 Presents. Clint Meyer is freaking rad, dude. Y'all should go check out his channel. I'm going to throw a link somewhere, probably up there in the corner there. Y'all reach out to William and let him know that I exist, and we're kind of like right down the street from each other, so you know, whatever. That would be a lot of fun, and I love what he does, and he has a lot of fun doing it. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of what he does, but I love the fact that he has a lot of fun, and he builds even goofier stuff than I usually do. And yes, I do hope to do a true collab episode on Element 14 Presents with Clem. We did sort of a weird kind of quasi-collab thing with the most useless IoT device. It's difficult because he's in Austria and I'm in California. But you know, we'll get something working. We'll get some working at some point. Scuba128 says, I'll watch a melon boat race. I'm sure you will. Why not? Let's do this. Now we're going to look at the how to install Windows 98 on the Raspberry Pi. Illajoy3 says, I'd like to try doing something like this myself. Can I get a more detailed process? I'm not sure how much more detail I can give you in a video. It's essentially install QEMU, and then you set up a virtual machine and install the operating system. It's pretty simple, and then you can run a bash command at startup to actually run the virtual machine on top of Raspbian if you really want to. That's about as detailed as I can get. There's lots of documentation on using QEMU. That was part of the Zybernaut build that I did for Element 14 Presents. So if I do anything else with that, I may put it up on Element 14 Presents. Okay, going to the SX64 floppy drive. Nihilist, cute, says, very interesting. I also have an SX64 with quite problematic disk drive. At quick look, it seems to work okay, but I have occasional read errors, which cannot be tracked down to an alignment problem. Interesting. Fact that it seems to come from the internal CRT when I disconnect the 12 volts and run the drive blind. I've never had read errors. Read errors tend to be worse on disk, which have been recorded a long time ago. First glance looks like you have a shielding problem. That's why you're getting that interference there. I would look at possibly putting like that metal mesh, like almost like chicken wire. I forgot what it's called. You could put a little bit of that around the HV section of that circuit on the back end of the cathode ray tube. That would be my first place. I really couldn't tell you without actually like digging into it and playing with it myself and being able to replicate it. The SX64 is running great. It's still running very well. Let's see, looking at the smart car review. Dump Chump asks, would coding the obstacle avoidance to turn the shortest distance be difficult? At the moment, it looks like it's programmed to turn about 280 degrees anti-clockwise rather than at 80 degrees clockwise, which looks crude and inefficient. Yeah, it is, and it wouldn't be too terribly difficult to fix that in code. It's just a matter of finding that one little spot in the code and just changing the numbers. That's all you really have to do. Okay, now we're looking at the IKEA battery video. Niner6 says, finally, somebody who understands that identifying a good battery at a good price, not just telling YouTube that China batteries are fake, which everybody knows already. Congratulations, and you deserve a thumbs up. Well, thank you, Niner6. That's kind of my thing. It's like, I don't like people just writing off one thing or another because, you know, it's cheap Chinesium crap or it's fake Chinese stuff. Like, you know, I'll give it the time of day and I'll give it a fair shot. The new Chinese batteries seem to be okay, and I do have a video coming up about one brand in particular, but that's down the road a piece, so you're just gonna have to subscribe and stay tuned. I'll be honest, I've been using those specific batteries. I've been using them since that video. I use them in my mic setup. I use them in my recorder. I use them all over the house, and they are fantastic. I recharge them every few weeks, and they still retain, as far as I can tell, they still retain as much of their discharge rate as they always have. I'm a fan. I'm a convert. I have no problem buying the off-brand stuff. Now, a lot of the people that are like, oh man, I just purchased some Blue Pros. Dang gummit. Electrodermal Activity. Das Anti-Nazi Brechen says Emile Dubois Raymond likely has a French name because his dad is from the French part of Switzerland. Okay, well that, all right, makes sense. Thank you. Then over on the LED Matrix video, Das Anti-Nazi Brechen also says, do you live in Japan? No, I do not. I live in California, Southern California, Orange County. If you'll notice on a lot of my projects, they'll say manufactured in Orange County, California. So that's where I live. All right, so that's what we have this time. Please, let's continue the conversation over on Twitter at AirborneSurfer, and you can also check out projects in progress and see all the other silly stuff that I'm up to on Instagram at TheAirborneSurfer. Subscribe down there. Here is a video that YouTube thinks you will probably enjoy, and there is a playlist that I think you ought to check out. Thank you to everyone who has participated on this channel, and I hope to talk to you again in the future. In the meantime, my name is Atari, and until next time, tally ho, y'all.